17 years, 5 miscarriages, countless prayers. I know those numbers feel like a punch in the gut, right? But behind every number, there's a story. A story of waiting, a story of heartbreak, and a promise that wouldn't let go. Welcome to The Purpose in Pain. My name is Magda, and in this podcast, we're going to be diving in on why the hardest seasons might just hold more meaning than we ever imagined. Now, you might be wondering, how can the hardest season have purpose? Today, I'll share my story, my journey, and how my hardest season had purpose. Before we get started, I just want to say that today is really my birthday weekend. And I wanted to put this out because I asked God, as soon as He gave me a child, I was going to spread the word and let everybody know how great He is. Today, when I went to the mall to do my makeup, short story before we get started, a lady who basically took me forever to get the appointment because it was last minute. When I got there, her name was Maria. Actually, Marie. It was Marie. So when I got there, she came so chipper. She was so happy, so beautiful. And she was so excited to do my makeup because I told her before when I made the appointment that I was doing a podcast. So when she came in, she was so happy. She looks gorgeous. She was just in good spirit. And as she was doing my makeup, she was like, "What is your podcast about?" And I started to tell her a little bit about my journey and how I had 5 miscarriages. She paused, her face turned red, and she started tearing up. Behind all that beautiful smile and all that happiness she was pretending to have, she was in so much pain. It was all a facade, and we all go through that. We all go through facades. We carry this beautiful smile on our faces, but inside we're dying. We're dying with pain, and we're dying of suffering, and nobody knows. With this podcast, I want us to all be in this together. I want you to know that you're not alone. It doesn't matter if it's infertility, if it's divorce, if it's sickness, pain, whatever pain you're going through. I know there's a purpose in your pain. My journey began 2007. My husband and I, we got married. And when we got married, we were so excited. But we said that we were going to wait before we start a family. We wanted to wait because we wanted to enjoy the marriage and we wanted to get to know each other a little better. So as we waited for the year, we traveled, we enjoyed each other's company, and then we were ready to start a family. We thought it was going to be a piece of cake. I actually thought I would have like 5 or 6 children because I love kids. I've always loved kids. So after the year, we started trying. Nothing was happening. Years later, 2 years, 3 years, I was crying, asking God, what is going on? What is happening? And after pleading with God, begging Him, 2014, I finally got pregnant. We were excited, of course, you know. We started telling all of our friends and family. We were so thrilled. We picked out names, started buying baby clothes. And one day when I was at the hotel when I worked, I started bleeding. And I called my husband immediately, and we were rushed to the hospital. So when I got to the hospital, they told me that my cervix has opened up. And they had to tilt me upside down, where if my water breaks during the night, then the baby will not survive. But if the amniotic fluid go back in, then they can stitch my cervix back up. So I called some prayer warriors at the church that I knew, Sister Nicole and her mom. They prayed with us for hours and hours all through the night. And around 6 a.m, my water broke. I was devastated. I was like, God, what happened? What's going on? Here are those 2 warriors, prayer warriors, are praying for me, thinking that you're real. And look what happened. I was so angry at God. and I started being so disrespectful. But that same night, God came to me in a vision. He said, I'm going to give you one of the most beautiful child, and everyone's going to love that child. That stayed with me throughout my whole life, the whole journey. Every losses, I kept thinking about the journey. The second loss was unbearable. We went to the hospital, everything was fine. We were 6 months. We thought for sure this time, God, we're gonna have this baby. Bought clothes, told everybody again, got a name picked out. Everything was good until all of a sudden something else happened, where I had to go to the hospital where they said, you have to give birth immediately. They gave me epidural and Pitocin, and sadly, they forgot about me. And the baby was born between my legs, and when they came back, the baby was suffocated. Another devastation. But I kept praying and asked God, why? Why am I going through this journey? Why am I going through this infertility? Why am I going through this loss? What is it that I need to do, God? And every day, I kept praying and asked God, please give me an answer. And there was no question to that answer. Years after years, suffering, pain, there was no answer to the question I was asking for. But sometimes God wants us to get his attention. Sometimes he'll mold you in a way that you would never imagine, because he wants to get you to the place that he wants you to be. At the time, I didn't understand it, but I had to get through. To get through, this is why I'm transformed now. I'm such a shy person when it comes to talking. Who knew I was going to sit here and do a podcast? That was never in my scope. But I did promise God, once you deliver me and set me free and give me this child, I will let everyone know how good you are and how faithful you are. Gosh, I can't even imagine not having my baby now. God blessed us last year with a son, and I'm beyond grateful. I don't know how I made it, but with God's grace and mercy, he got me through, and he can get you through. All those losses, all these kids that I lost, it's funny that I cannot even imagine not having my son. He's a perfect kid for me and my family. He's such a sweet little angel. He just everything that I wanted and more. It's like God put all the losses into this wonderful little angel and gave me. And I know if you're listening right now, you might be asking yourself, what is the purpose for my pain? I don't know, but we can find out together. This is why I wanted to do this podcast, because I want you to know that you're not alone. You're not alone in this. We all are going through something. Everybody that you see is going through something. And I want you to know that this is an open space where if you feel like you wanted to share or you wanted to ask me a question or however we can do it together, even if we have to pray together, I am here. I want to help one person, if not 1,000 person, because God left 99 for that one soul. So that means one soul means everything to him. If I can reach one person from this story, I know God will be pleased, and so will I. Remember, your pain has purpose. Even when you cannot see it yet, it does. Sometimes the fire that tries to destroy you becomes the same fire that God uses to reveal your purpose. If today's message touched your heart, please share and subscribe. And I want to let my Haitian people know a little bit about my story. Because for the ones that doesn't understand English, my journey was very difficult. M'te pas son paquet misère pour m'arriver là. M'perdi 5 petits moun, prier chaque jour, matin, midi, soir. Pas aucune solution. Chaque côté m'passe, m'pas gen aucune solution. Mais bon Dieu lui-même il t'a fait grâce pour moi. Il t'a changé bagay yo pour moi. Pour journée jodi m'te ka chita là pour m'te ka gap bon bébé. Après tout perdu, moi te dit bon Dieu, sou bon mon petit, Tout côté me passe, m'a cité non. Tout côté me passe, m'a dit Jean merveilleux pour moi. Bon Dieu fait pour moi. Année passée, bon Dieu, bon mon petit garçon. Après tout petit monde moi perdu, comme si celle petite ça, gen tout petit gars, petit moun yo là-dedans. Et comme si petit garçon ça, bon Dieu mettait tout ça me perdu non seul bébé. Te gen l'aime pas même penser me t'a vivre encore. M'te pensé la vie était finie pour moi. Mais bon Dieu te fait grâce. Ou même k'ap tande m'pa connait qui soit traversé. M'pa connait jamais moyen difficile pour mais pas jamais perdu la foi. Parce que bon Dieu n'a servi à li kon changer hiver en été. Li kon fait bagay celle li même te ka fait. Font relation avec elle, sou gen relation avec elle tout bon vrai. Même j'aime te dit bon Dieu, sou bon témoignage pam, m'a servi ou, m'a dit tout monde jon grand. Pas son moment dit bon Dieu, bon mon témoignage pam. Bon témoignage pam même j'ont te bay seulement da témoignage parle. Et puis wak font bagay pour lui. N'importe so wak fait pour lui ya. Make sure ou fait li kembe promesse ou. Parce que bon Dieu pas ka bay menti ou même pas bay bon Dieu menti. C'est peut-être ça m'chita là. M'chita là parce que bon Dieu te kembe promesse li pour moi. M'kembe promesse li pour lui. Ou même kap tande moi. Si ou te remen ça m'tap di yo, commentez, subscribe. Que bon Dieu bénisse. Thank you.